Hi everybody, it's Amy, also known as Aussie Stitcher in Texas, back for my second Flosstube. I just wanted to thank everybody who watched my last video, who liked, who commented, who subscribed. I really appreciate it. People talk about this community and how great it is, and you know, it really is. It's not a lie. So thank you again, everybody. But let's get into the stitching. It's going to be a quick one, just like my last one. I'm not one to ramble on too much, although I know I can at times. I have 3 projects that I have worked on this month. 2 of them were my WIPGO, and then the other one was Heaven and Earth Designs that I'm trying to get some stitches in to try and knock that out in, you know, less than 10 years, which I think is what happens with a Heaven and Earth design if you don't keep working on it. So first up, this is my Mirabilia, my garden Prelude. Here she is. So my WIP goal for this was to work on her for 7 days, which I did a little bit more than that. If I have any photos from where it was last time, I'll put them up so you can see. But I worked on this far side with the column and then a lot of her dress, which is a lot of dress. If anyone's considering doing this piece, make sure to try and break up the dress a bit because it certainly is a lot. It's beautiful. The colors are phenomenal. When you look at it up close, sometimes you're wondering why would you put that color there, but it makes sense when you step back and really take a look at it. So I will put this one away, I think, for the month and then pick her up again in September. But you know, now that I'm seeing a lot more progress and I really only have this other side of the flowers to do and the rest of the columns and then a lot of her dress, I'm getting that itch to just kind of keep working on her and then finish her up before getting to the dreaded beading. I'm not a huge fan of beading, so not looking forward to that. The second one I worked on this month was my Twisted Band Sampler by Northern Expression Needlework. My goal for this was to work on 1 color. I ended up working on 2 just because I love to see how the different colors come together and the blend. This is on a 28 or 25 or 28 count black, just lugana, even weave. Great. I mean, it is a dark fabric, so I do need to have some light behind it, but when I have that, it's very easy to work on. So that is that one. I'm loving this. You know, it's because I'm working 1 color at a time, it actually goes really quickly, which is nice. You know, I can just thread up a few needles with the color I need, and then, you know, as I'm going, just pull that needle with the new thread on there and just work away. So it's very easy to get like 600-700 stitches in a day. When you're just having that 1 color that you're working on. Then the next one I worked on was my Heaven and Earth Designs. This is a full coverage by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. It is the Faces of Faery 201, which I think is the Black Swan from Swan Lake. This is on a 32 count, easy count that I picked up from 123 Stitch. My goal for this one, which was outside of WIPGO, just a goal I set for myself, was to do 1,000 stitches, and I ended up doing about 1,500. So happy with that. I came down, whoop, dropped it. So I came down this side working on a bubble. There's a little swan that's going to be going in here. For this, I'm trying to kind of go back to that grid block by block. I did, you know, kind of feather out partly to not have any like deep lines if it is something that did end up sitting for a little while. I tried to do that, but I'm finding myself getting a little bit confused sometimes of where I am. So I'm going to try and keep some sort of order in the grids. But what I do like about kind of going all over the place is sometimes there might be a block near where I'm working on that only requires 1 stitch of a certain color, and if I've got that on the needle, I'll just go ahead and do that stitch rather than when I eventually come to it then having to pull the needle, pull the thread for 1 stitch and end it and do all of that. So I'm just finding it easier that if I do look around and if it's close to where I'm working, I can just quickly do that stitch, take it off and move on. That's what happens with like down here and there, and it does sometimes get a little bit out of control, but I think it will help with keeping any kind of fine lines that you might see when you look at it. But I'm almost to the bottom of this. I think there's only another couple blocks down the bottom, and then that will be kind of her size figured out. So I'm all the way to the end on this side. There's no more further to go. And then if I only have a couple more down, it'll give me just a visual of what it's going to look like size-wise. So I know, but I'm happy with that. So those are the WIPs I worked on. Not a whole lot, but it was a lot of stitching that I did. I'm trying not to have too many WIPs, but something that I am finding is I do have about 6 WIPs that I'm working on, and there are times when, you know, you have the same color. You know, you've got color, whatever it is, 500 in this project and color 500 in that one. And I use Annie's Keepers, and that's how I organize my floss. I also have a bunch of stuff on bobbins when I bobbinated before I discovered Annie's Keepers. But what I'm finding, when I have those multiple, you know, that color that's being used on multiple projects, I'll then have to pull out that project to grab that color and either switch them between or just keep that bunch of floss out from X project to use on Y project. So what I've decided to do is I've gone ahead and bought a couple more from Adam Hart Cross Stitch. Bridget, for the museum stitches, she got me onto them. I really love them. So I've got them. They're coming in the mail. Hopefully they'll be here today or tomorrow so I can show them on my next Flosstube. But my idea behind that is to kind of keep my bobbins in the bobbins that I have. You know, I'm trying to work through those so I can get them off bobbins and onto Annie's Keepers as the floss runs out. So keep the bobbins on bobbins, keep the floss on the Annie's Keepers, and then as I'm doing a project, use those Adam Hart Cross Stitch floss drops and just put kind of the thread, the floss that I think I'm going to need. So to give you an idea, I've got a project that I'm doing that is part of WIPGO for next month. So it's going to be a new start, which is the Wicked Witchcraft by Autumn Lane Stitchery. So here is the pattern here. So this is a great one. This only has 5 colors and most of it is 939. And then I've got 501, I believe it is. So what I decided to do was put them on this little thing from I got it in the Frogwarts Black Needle Society box. So what I did is I can tell from the chart that for a crew, it's like a little bit of back stitch. So I just pulled like 1 thread of that off my Annie's Keeper. Same for this color, there's only a little bit, so I think this is enough. 939 actually goes through 5 skeins, so I'll just keep refilling that as it happens. This one I've just pulled because this is what's left of the floss that I have of this color, and I'll refill that as needed. And then this one also is just what I think I'll need, but then I can always go back to my master set as stuff and pull as such and just pull off the thread I think I'll need again and just pull the lengths as I need them, rather than keeping this whole, you know, full skein on one of these things or on my Annie's Keepers or on the Adam Hart floss drop when I don't need the full skein. And then that way it kind of keeps it cleaner and less, you know, potential for it getting a little ratty because it's hanging and I'm moving from location to location. So that's that. For the WIP I'm working on, it is, like I said, it will be my new start, the Wicked Witchcraft by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I'm going to do it on the called for fabric, which is this one. This is Naiad by Under the Sea Fabrics. Phenomenal. In case anybody's wondering, I'm sure you've probably all seen this. These are comic book boards, and I wrap my linens and my fabric around them. I got the idea from the Steel City Stitches. They do this and it is perfect. I just have them all in a box lined up. You can flick through them like you would, you know, back in the day with records, and then just pull out the fabric that I think I want. So this is great. I think Erin from Steel City Stitches, on their channel, they do have a quick little video on how she uses these and how she kind of tags them all together. So that is one of the WIPGOs for August. The second one is my Ursula crest. I didn't grab that, but I showed that in my last video. So one of my little villain crests that I've got from Atomic Tiki pins. Both of those have a goal for 7 days, which I'll work on. I am going away for work this month for a week. So that there's not going to be any time for stitching there. So that's why I'm happy with what was called and the goals that I need for WIPGO this month. They both only have 7 days that I need to put on them, so 14 days in total. I'm going to be away for 7, so that gives me enough buffer to finish them and hit my goal. And if I do, that means I'll get 2 kind of bingos. And then what I was thinking was to have another new start in September with the hope of maybe finishing it by Halloween. So one of the charts that I picked up in this last month is from the Frosted Pumpkin, and it is Midnight Way. So there it is there, trying to get away from the glare. Adorable little chart on this beautiful purple fabric. I do have not the exact fabric that's called for in my stash, but I did have something very similar. This is Luna, also by Under the Sea Fabrics. So you can see that there. I am in Leslie's Fabric of the Month club, so I do have a lot of Under the Sea fabrics. I love her club because she does actually take breaks. We don't end up with 12. You end up with, 9 or 10 depending on what she has going on, which I'm actually okay with. You build up a stash very quickly if you're in a Fabric of the Month, and this way it kind of just goes a little bit slower and I don't kind of bite off more than I can chew. I do still have about a dozen fabrics in my stash. Some that I have ideas for, some that are just in the stash waiting for an idea to arrive. And then as far as other haul goes, I picked up, as part of buying Midnight Way from Frosted Pumpkin, I also got Winter Carriage Ride. So that's an adorable little one. I don't have a fabric in my stash for this, but I've got some plain fabric that I might consider dyeing, just to see, why not? It's fun. And then I also got from the Frosted Pumpkin Nutcracker Parade. So I don't have the fabric for this one either, but it is, I picture this plus, I can't remember the exact name of it, Nessie, I think it is. And I've looked around and most people seem to be out of stock, so I will just wait till that's in stock with somebody to pick that up. So those are my plans, those are my WIPs that I'm going to be working on for this month. Don't really have a life update. I'm going, like I said, going away for work in August for a week. We have an annual conference that we head to every year. So I'll be doing that. Very busy leading up to that. It's a very exciting time, very busy time. But all done from me. Like I said, short and sweet. Thank you everybody again for watching, for liking and subscribing. I really do appreciate it. And please, if you liked this video, please like, and if you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe. But thank you everybody. Bye.